everyone. So today at World Routes, I am today joined by Kurt A.G Menal, the Managing Director at BVI Airports Authority Ltd. Thank you so much, Kurt, for joining me.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So would you please first start by introducing yourself to our audience and explain what your role means for BVI Airports Authority, please?
Yes, so I'm Kurt Menal. I'm the Managing Director for the BVI Airports Authority. The BVI Airports Authority is actually a system of 3 airports in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The main airport being the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport. So I'm essentially responsible for the strategic direction of all 3 airports, air service development, ensuring safety and security, and essentially enhancing the customer experience for the travelers going through all of our airports.
A lot of responsibilities under your belt.
Yes, definitely.
So in overseeing all these sort of different airports under BVI Airports Authority, what are you noticing in differences in passenger volumes? Are some airports doing better than others in terms of ATC, and why?
Well, definitely. So as I said earlier, we are a system of 3 airports. The main airport is the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport on Tortola, which is the main island in the British Virgin Islands, which is a collection of 50 islands and keys. In terms of the airports, the bulk of the traffic comes through Terence B. Lettsome, about 200,000 passengers per annum over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And based on our air service development, we're projecting more than 300,000 by the end of 2023, which is very good. In the case of the 2 other airports in Virgin Gorda and Anegada, they serve a particular clientele, ultra high-end clientele.
Right.
And those airports are served on a prior request basis, particularly Anegada. In the case of Virgin Gorda, there are scheduled flights out of San Juan, and they essentially serve the resorts, the high-end resorts that are located on Virgin Gorda. So you won't get the mass tourism going into Virgin Gorda that would possibly go to Tortola. So that feeds the airports.
So it's not necessarily that one airport's doing better than the other. They just have different demographics that they cater to.
Exactly. The types of passengers going through the different airports are different.
Understood. So on that note, what is your passenger demographic for some of these airports you just mentioned, and what type of travel is most popular?
Well, we are not the typical destination. So what determines the passenger demographic really is the destination. So we are an ultra high-end destination, and that is reflected in the demographic of the persons or the guests going through our airports. So who our primary customers are ultra high-end, discerning individuals who are actually coming in, for example, on private jets, etc. So 40% of our traffic is actually ultra high-end general aviation, as opposed to 60% commercial airline scheduled traffic. So our customers reflect that demographic.
Okay, got it. So with the above in mind, how is your passenger experience geared towards this? What type of F&B offerings, retail and facilities do you offer at airports?
So like a typical airport, we do have food and beverage and concessionaires and all of that. But we consider ourselves, or we have classed ourselves as a boutique airport. So what you will find at our airport is that we cater for that 60-40 split in terms of the high-end general aviation. And what you will find is a number of fixed base operators catering to the needs of the high-end individuals. So even the persons who do not use the FBOs, which aggressively compete with each other to increase that level of service, the average passenger coming through the scheduled airlines are also high-end. So they would be picked up, for example, on landing by a limousine, for example. So it's not the typical airport where you have a mass of people going through or mass tourism feeding the airport.
It's more like personalized, like pickups.
Exactly. So you have a situation, for example, where the rules that govern a normal airport where you check in 2 and 3 hours before may be a little relaxed at our airport because of the specialized service to our particular customers. So for example, you may come to our airport at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you are out by 4 o'clock departing. And even coming in, our systems and our processes are more seamless. There's more technology involved in terms of most things being paperless. So we welcome you where the experience is high-end from landing to curbside.
Sure. Understood. Thank you. So in your role, how are you working to ensure that there is a high standard of quality assurance at your terminals? And are you interested in any new innovations or markets?
So we pay attention constantly to all of our processes and systems and services. So for example, we have a compliance department, and a major part of that is maintaining that high level of service, because we pride ourselves on being a destination and an airport system where we have a high, in terms of return guests, we have a high percentage of return guests. So we monitor the quality of all of our processes and systems, and we're currently in the process of introducing technology throughout the various touch points in the airport. So for example, we have automated the immigration and the customs processes, where we did away with the
old
paper ED cards, and all of that is done online now. So you are essentially processed through customs and immigration in the most seamless fashion. We're recently introducing a common use facility for our check-in area, which wasn't there before, just to ensure greater operational efficiency and again to enhance that customer experience within our terminals.
So all the check-in counters are at the same area?
Same area, correct.
Got it, got it, understood. So what have you noticed of your air traffic control and passenger volumes of the Caribbean area? Is travel back, or is it changing?
I think it's definitely back. What we see so I can tell you in terms of specific numbers that by the end of 2022, we were up to 80% of the traffic at the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport in particular. We're projecting by the end of 2023 to have increased our traffic on 2019 by 50%. So we're moving from 200,000 per annum to 300,000 per annum. For the Caribbean as a general catchment area, you've seen that in line with what is happening in Latin America, the Caribbean is realizing its pre-COVID numbers. So there's a great increase in demand for the Caribbean. I guess all that pent-up travel demand that was held for 2019 and 2020 is being realized now. So the passengers, the travelers are choosing the Caribbean, and among them the British Virgin Islands.
Understood. So what is your route development strategy in the coming years? Are you looking to add more of the same type of traveler, or are you looking to expand it to newer markets?
So for the short term, we're looking to expand on the same type of traveler. However, there's a focus, and there will be a focus on connectivity. We are limited in our infrastructure in terms of the length of our runway. So we only recently had our first non-stop flight from the US, and that gives us greater connectivity to our destination. So we're looking to increase on the number of flights. So in December, American Airlines with a direct flight to Miami will be increasing the frequency from 1 to 3 times a day sometimes into and out of the winter period into the first quarter of next year.
Promising. And for my final question to you is, can you give us a 30-second pitch on why an airline should choose to fly into your airports rather than your competitors?
Yes. So an airline should choose to fly into our airport because of the destination that we represent. So when you come to Terence B. Lettsome International Airport and our two other airports, you actually come into a collection of 50 plus islands and keys where you can have the greatest tourism experience. It is like nothing else in the world. Most destinations give you one island, we give you 50 plus. So you can have breakfast on one island, lunch on another, and dinner on another. So it's definitely a must-do to come to the British Virgin Islands.
That sounds very magical.
Paradise.
Thank you, Kurt, so much.